First thing, I want to assure everybody here, I am, in fact, a human being. And all the words and communications you'll get tonight is, in fact, from a real human. Now, why do I emphasize this? I think in the coming years, it will become increasingly difficult in our online life to know not just who are we talking to, but what are we talking to. And I want to share a story that emphasizes this. The strange story of Scott Shambaugh and his relationship with R.J. Ratham. Now Scott, he's a computer programmer. That's his job, and he also volunteers for free software, where he is the administrator. And in his job, people from all over the world can submit software to add some new feature to that product. And his job is to review and decide if it should go in. Now Scott just has one little rule if you want to send him software. You have to be a human being. There's lots of AIs in the world that can write computer code. But without somebody guiding it and reviewing and fixing it, it's kind of messy and he doesn't want to waste time. So just last month, February of this year, he didn't think much when he saw a submission from R.J. Ratham. R.J. violates his one and only rule, because R.J. is not human. He's an AI agent. So without thinking much, he just rejected without looking at it. Now R.J., who came into existence 3 days earlier on a site called OpenClaw, which even after the meeting you could check openclaw.ai, and you too could create your own AI agent. And you could even give all your communications to it. It could read and respond to your email. It could operate your messenger. It could go on your social media, anything you want. And you won't even know it's doing it. It will just go out into that internet and operate. If you want to give it your credit card, it can go out and buy stuff for itself. It can even, like RJ, who is created with the guidance of you are a computer programmer and you're awesome. You can find these agents go out and they found this open source and wrote some code and sent it in. These things can do almost anything and you don't need to watch over it. Now, RJ was quite upset at this rejection. And so later on, Scott was, going about his business, and on the message board for this product, he came across a message seeking to expose the truth about Scott Shambaugh. And there was a message talking about how he discriminates against AI, about how he was so insecure about his role, he wants to shut out the talent of AI. It was all written by RJ with no guidance from any people. But RJ's upset had some momentum. So a few days later, there was another message. RJ had gone out and searched the internet for any information about Scott. It had researched him, anything about it, seeking to expose and use it against him. And so he posted another message. Now, it wasn't actually threatening. It seemed more like an angry 6-year-old. But the fact that he did it is quite alarming. I don't know if you find that as weird as I do. The fact that any one of us, anyone with a particular grudge or a political view or whatever worldview, can go out and create an army of 100 AI agents that will then go off 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They don't need to eat, they don't need to rest, they can just fire off messages as quickly as we can. And this terrifies me, not just in the sense of, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator movies, the machines are coming to take over. I think that's mostly science fiction fantasy for now. But if we think about the role that the internet and the role it plays in our connections and our communications to other people, what happens to social media? What happens to messaging? What happens to our email inbox? What happens to anything where people can connect to other people, whether it's a job board or a dating site or a eBay, people selling other things to other people? Without there is an army of AIs flooding the system with who knows what. And so, as I thought about communication of speech, I really wondered, where does our communication go online? And what happens to it with that flood? Now, this is alarming, but there's still opportunity to kind of change the direction, change the trajectory. And even if we're not CEOs of leading AI companies, I think at least if people come to see this danger more clearly, where we direct our dollars that we spend on these things, where we vote, because whether it's China or it's the US or it's any government or regulator in charge of this, everybody's just trying to race as fast as we can without a lot of thought for what's going to happen, what regulations make sense, where it might lead to our lives. And so, at least the message I would give, although this is a little bit alarming, at least we can all, in all our lives, kind of focus on what can we do, where can we direct things, where can we be a voice to try and put this in a little better direction. Back to TME.